My name is Kunle Taiwo. I'm currently conference co-lay leader. I've been a United Methodist since I came to the United States. That's been a while. I was invited to join the task force on emerging malaria, first because of my position as conference co-lay leader. Upon the invitation, the person inviting me didn't know that actually I had had malaria as a child or as a youth. I was 16 years old when I had malaria, and I had malaria several times growing up. So that was my invitation and how I came about becoming a part of this movement. Malaria is an incredibly debilitating disease. When you catch malaria, you're down and out. The chances of dying, particularly in Africa, is very high, particularly in the rural areas. When I caught malaria, the symptoms are convulsion, very, very high fever, you are bedridden, nausea, aches and pains, particularly joint aches, that you are debilitated completely. For children, it's probably even worse because they can't help themselves and they are just completely down and out. And the chances of dying is very high. The mortality rate due to malaria is very atrocious in Africa. If we've eradicated that in the Western world, particularly in the United States, I think it's incumbent upon us as Christians to make to pursue this in the best way we can, to at least make sure that these little kids would live. I'm originally from Nigeria, and when I had malaria, the incident that I remember very well, I was 16 years old and I was in high school. I went to a boarding school which was about 60 miles from Lagos, just north of Lagos. Lagos used to be the capital city of Nigeria at the time. That's where I grew up primarily. However, I went to a boarding school which was a mission school. It was an Anglican school in a place called Ijebu-Ode. I had the privilege that my grandfather actually started that school, and that's why I was actually sent to that boarding school. That's where I caught malaria when I was 16. A little earlier than that, my bunkmate, we lived in dorms and we had bunk beds, and the person I shared a bunk bed with actually died of malaria because he was not quickly diagnosed when he got sick, and by the time he was diagnosed, he was far gone and he died. That had a tremendous impact on me growing up. This individual, we went to primary school together and we started high school together, and then he didn't make it through just because of malaria. This is a disease that is preventable. It is treatable, and there should be no reason why any child should die of this disease. Giving life to children is what excites me the most. That having grown up in a place where there is resources, particularly in Nigeria, Nigeria is not devoid of resources, it's bad management. However, growing up in a place where you know that children can live and be fruitful, and that enough is not being done to bring that to life, is something that is a big challenge for all of us. And I think it should be something that motivates us to keep these children alive. If we look at this from saving lives, I think that brings it down to a manageable chunk for all of us, because that's something we can relate to. I have children and I have one grandchild, and I know how I would feel if my grandchild was in danger of not living just because, she was bitten by a mosquito and then having to have caught malaria. If there is something we can do, I would implore all of us to just look at it from the standpoint of saving human lives. We have the capability to do this. We have the will to do this. We ought to do it. Just encourage everybody to pitch in from $10 to whatever, how many dollars we have in mind that the Lord has blessed us with to be able to save human lives. Those are our neighbors. Thank you.